Hey there, this is a Taliyah counter video intended to fill you in on everything you need to know to deal with Taliyah when she's on the opposite team. So first off, what does Taliyah do? Taliyah is a mid-range control mage jungler with a huge amount of burst damage with a combo. Taliyah is incredibly effective at moving around the map and spreading her impact across different lanes. Taliyah's ultimate is very unique and can be used to move large distances but also trap opponents in difficult positions to allow her team to follow up. Let's hone in on some of Taliyah's strengths and weaknesses. Taliyah's strengths are that she has really good single target damage and is able to shred through neutral objectives or jungle monsters with ease. Taliyah's burst, if she connects with a full combo, is very difficult to survive. The fact she isn't reliant on her ult to deal damage like some other champions means you can repeatedly fish for combos on a short cooldown. Taliyah's E deals extra damage when an enemy dashes through it. The amount of mobility present in the game, this is an amazing tool at punishing the fast-paced broken champs we all get frustrated with. As for her weaknesses, Taliyah can get outranged and as a result poked out before she can even get into position to deal her own damage. Taliyah is very reliant on her W to disengage close range threats, missing it can be a death sentence. Taliyah's ultimate can be tricky to find ideal times to use it. Sometimes whole fights will go by without a good opportunity showing up simply down to where the fight is being fought and how it plays out. We're going to dive in specifically how to counter Taliyah, but first is an overview of the major tips that we'll be breaking down further in this video. First off, respect her map traversal. Taliyah is able to get across the map incredibly quickly. Her ultimate is the obvious one as she can ride along the wall to cover a large distance, but she also gets bonus movement speed whenever she moves along a wall. Avoid her W. Taliyah will use her W to proc the E follow-up damage and also to knock you in a comfortable position. She will often combo this with her teammate's CC to guarantee landing it, so be extra careful when facing multiple champions with crowd control. Reposition away from a Q. Taliyah's Q will continue firing in one direction until the channel has finished, and there is no way for her to adjust this direction. If you're able to juke her or flash to the side, then she'll be unable to continue hitting you with the rest of it unless she flashes herself to follow you. Be aware of her wall trapping you. Taliyah's wall is especially threatening to mobile champions who can be trapped by it. Be aware of what terrain you're already near and how she can look to transect it to pin you and your teammates in. Paying attention to her position is vital to see her lining this up. Avoid dashing through her E. Taliyah's E will deal extra damage if she knocks you through it with a W, but also if you dash through it. The amount of damage she takes if you dash over this is pretty substantial, so be aware before you attempt to dive through it and find your health disappearing. Wait it out, go around it, or use your flash instead. It's always good to think about when a champion is strongest or weakest. Taliyah is strongest in the mid game, with her Q maxed and the backup of Zhonya's, she's able to deal a ton of damage while also having a defensive to back her up. At this point her combo will one-shot most squishier targets and needs to be respected. Taliyah is weakest in the late game. The short range starts to become a real vulnerability here, and if she's not able to hit a W then her damage falls off a good amount. So let's jump into dealing with Taliyah in the early game. At this point avoiding her Q is pretty important. Look to get out the way of the channel, whether this involves hiding behind minions or jungle monsters or flashing or dashing out the way. This will significantly reduce her ability to fight as it's a big factor in her damage. Flash or dash out of a W. In early duels or skirmishes this will be dictated completely on whether Taliyah hits a W or not. If you're fighting her early, try to avoid it, and if she has used it already on someone else or wasted it, now may be your time to punish her. Taliyah's mana costs are pretty high, especially if she keeps spamming her Q. She also offers pretty low burst until she's level 3. If she's playing over aggressive, look to fight her and remember her full combo costs 210 mana at level 3, so you can easily capitalize on this. Play around vision. Face checking Taliyah is an easy way to get full comboed and blown up. In return, however, if you get the jump on Taliyah, often she really struggles to disengage, in particular if she misses her W. A lot of matchups can be dictated based on who sees the other first. Onto the mid game, and at this point Taliyah is able to do a ton of burst damage, and if she catches a target in a combo, they'll definitely be chunked and often go down. Look to maintain your distance where possible and keep a keen eye on the ground for when she throws out a W. Remember that she can be anywhere pretty quickly with her ultimate, so make sure to respect this. Try not to let Taliyah keep you at range. Despite Taliyah's main burst coming from a WE combo, if she sits at the back and consistently fires out her Q without you being able to get to her, you'll just get melted, especially once she's got a few items. Taliyah will continue to look for picks and you have to be really cautious about face checking. Try and check the fog of war with skill shots before walking in, and ideally send someone who is tankier or has the mobility to dip away in to check. Taliyah will often grab Zhonya's seconds, so make sure you're paying attention and hitting tab to check if she's bought a stopwatch or completed her Zhonya's. Diving in to take her down and getting baited is an easy way to lose a fight. Finally in the late game, at this point Taliyah's damage is still a threat if she lands a full combo, but otherwise isn't as much of a problem. Your frontliners can often tank a Q for you, so be sure to position behind them where possible. Taliyah's wall can be a very powerful tool in the late game. Trapping you in or out of a Baron pit can dictate a fight for the objective, and she's also able to use it to traverse the map quickly, whether to look for a pick or even to threaten a backdoor. Be aware of the utility that this option provides and try to play around it. Taliyah's kit falls apart if she's attacked from multiple angles. Finding flank opportunities is critical to getting on top of her and taking her down. She'll be forced to pick a direction to throw out her skills, and it'll make it possible for the other champion to close ground. Flanking is often a solid option to find favour in teamfights, but Taliyah is especially vulnerable. Let's talk about some of the items you can build against Taliyah to deal with her. First up, Zhonya's a stopwatch. Avoiding Taliyah's W really limits her damage, and turning golden is a great way to stop her from connecting, especially when you don't have any mobility available. Magic resist. A bit of an obvious one, but it really can help to make the difference between her 100 zeroing you and giving you the window to escape once a combo is over. Sustain and anti-burst. Items like Bloodthirster, Sterek, Shieldbow and Hex Drinker are all really powerful at helping you survive a full combo, and in terms of the sustain, being able to heal back up again afterwards. Taliyah's impact is drastically reduced when she finds herself unable to burst at a target and remove them from the fight. This is even more severe when they can get back to full HP shortly afterwards. That wraps everything up for a Taliyah counter video. If you enjoyed this video, then you can find more counter videos on our website on the playlist link below, and be sure to subscribe to be alerted for when we cover a new champion. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again.